green lovers! Today is the 28th of February 2020 and it is our last frost date in Zone 9B here in Northern California. And I am so excited to get out in my garden and finally start to think about moving some things outdoors without the fear of frost killing them off. So I'm talking things like cucumbers and corn and tomatoes and peppers and all of those sort of frost sensitive fruits and vegetables that can now move into my garden. They have been incubating for a long time indoors under grow lights, and they are ready to go outside. So while I'm getting prepared to go outside and plant some things, I realized that I was out of potting soil and I was also out of seed starting mix, because one of the things that I'm trying to do this year is succession planting, which means I'm going to need to always be starting seeds basically indoors and having something ready to go out in the garden just as soon as something is finishing up in the garden. So for that, I'm going to need a constant supply of seed starting mix, and I'm going to need potting soil because I'm also going to be doing a lot of containers this year. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to share with you guys my recipes for seed starting mix and for potting soil. It can get pretty pricey if you have to keep buying the bagged stuff from the big box stores. So if you're starting a lot of seeds, or if you're planning on planting a lot of stuff in containers, you should probably consider buying the ingredients and mixing them yourselves. And it's really, really easy. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so here are the raw materials that you need to have on hand if you want to be able to quickly put together some potting mix and not have to run out to the big box store to get yourself a pre-made bag. So I always have these on hand. The main ingredients that I'm talking about are peat moss, and peat moss tends to be acidic in nature, so you want to neutralize that, bring it to a neutral pH, and for that you need garden lime. I've got perlite, which is an expanded volcanic rock and helps with drainage. I've got vermiculite, which is a mica derivative, and it also helps with drainage, but it also helps retain moisture, water, and nutrients because it's got that plate-like structure. And then you've got compost, you've got fertilizer, and that's about it. Now, some people do have a problem with peat moss from a sustainability perspective, in which case a wonderful alternative is Coco-peat, which is actually nothing to do with peat itself. It is the husk of the coconut. So it's Coco-coie is the other name for it. And it's a great alternative, though tends to be a lot more expensive than peat moss. But you can choose which ones you want to use, or you can use a little bit of both. Okay guys, so first let's start with seed starting mix. It is really, really easy to make seed starting mix. All you need to do is take 2 parts of peat moss to 1 part of perlite, mix it all together, and there you have it, seed starting mix. It's so easy that sometimes I wonder why I go to the store and buy seed starting mix in bags and spend, maybe 3 or 4 times how much it would cost me to make it myself. But I do it. I'm that lazy. But yeah, that's all it is. 1. And this is the second one. So one thing that you need to know about peat moss is it retains water really, really well. But once it dries out, it is so difficult to get it moistened again. And so just watering a little bit from the top won't cut it, because the water just sort of literally flows off the peat moss. You've almost got to come back and water multiple times. And with seeds, little seedlings, you don't want to keep pouring water from the top. That's very disruptive to their growth. And if they're in the seed form, it could disrupt where they're sitting in the soil. Just not good. You want to bottom water. You want to get cups or whatever you're starting them in, and making sure, of course, that there are holes at the bottom of whatever you're starting the seeds in. Put it in a tray, fill that tray with water and let it slowly absorb. It takes maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes to absorb the water. And then you take the water from the tray and pour it out. You don't let it stand overnight because that's gonna really soak into the peat moss and make it soggy, and your seedlings or your seeds will rot. So yeah, so there you've got 2 of that. Now you don't have to worry about adding lime to seed starting mix. Seeds don't really care that much about the pH level. But peat moss in general, even though it's an organic material, it's pretty sterile. It doesn't contain any high nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, that kind of thing. And one thing that it probably will contain is seeds of fungus gnats. Now these are these annoying creatures that you might sometimes see flying around over your seedlings. And the gnats themselves are not dangerous, they're just annoying to your seeds, but the larvae can eat up the plant from within. So you don't want fungus gnats. And the way that you stop fungus gnats from happening, or stop those eggs, which might be, in this peat moss, from hatching, is you've got to sterilize the mix before you use it. And there's a couple of ways that you can sterilize the mix. You can pour really, really hot water in it and let it sit for a while, like boiling water. Let it sit for about 10 minutes or so. Or you can actually take your seed starting mix and microwave it. So microwave it for about 4 minutes, stopping every 1 minute or so, and stirring it. Sorry, I'm losing track of what I'm doing here. But yeah, 2 of this peat moss and 1 of perlite. Now the thing about perlite, it creates a little bit of a dust. So if you're making a lot of this, or you're intending to spend a lot of time with the perlite, wear a mask. Whoa, look at that. I'm not gonna breathe. Gotta get my mask. Anyway, this tool that I use, it's called a hori hori knife, one of my favorite gardening tools. I'll talk about it in another video. But yeah, whoa, that perlite is dusty. So don't do what I do. Get a mask. And there you have it. Some nice seed starting mix. Mixed up really nicely. Put some water in it, and before you use it, sterilize it. Hey guys, I'm back now to tell you how to make some potting soil. Now, soil overall is probably the most expensive item on your shopping list. If you count up how much you spent all year in your gardening adventures, I'm willing to bet that soil is the one that you spend the most money on. So it's really worthwhile considering making your own soil whenever possible. Potting soil is probably one of the most used things that you have as far as soil goes. Other things might be raised bed soil. We talked about seed starting soil, but potting soil is just this multi-purpose thing that you always want to have on hand. So, recipe: 3 parts of peat moss, 3 parts of compost, 1 part vermiculite, 1 part perlite, about a cup or so. If I'm using this as 1 part, I'd say about a cup or so of fertilizer, and about a cup or so of lime if you're using peat moss, because as we talked about earlier, peat moss tends to be pretty acidic. Now, like I said, you could use Coco-coie or Coco-peat instead of peat moss. This is neutral as far as pH level goes, so you don't need to add the lime if you're using Coco-coie. Coco-coie, the thing to note about Coco-coie is you need to look at the ingredients. They often use salt in the process of making the Coco-coie, and you want to wash that out of your Coco-coie. So when you soak it in water, you'll see that this block, it's going to expand to about maybe 4 times the volume. But what you want to do is you really want to squeeze that out, throw out the water, fill it up again, wash it again, pour out the water. I do that like 3 times just to get rid of the salt, because the salt is not going to be good for your seedlings. So if you're using Coco-coie, make sure that you're buying Coco-coie that actually specifically says that it has no salt in it. And if it has salt, that's okay. You just need to go through that one extra step of washing it out. So let's get to it. Really easy again. 3 of this. Dig out some more with my hori tool here. Yeah, just real quick about this hori tool. It's got one sort of jagged edge for sawing motion. It's got a really sharp edge here for just slicing motion, and it's got a scale here to measure how deep. So you can use it as a little trowel kind of thing to dig out soil, and you can know how much you're digging out because it's got the measurements here. And these edges, both sides, really sharp, and you have to keep them sharp as well. Maintain it, keep it clean. But yeah, it's one of those multi-purpose tools. You can use it to, like, for example, here I forgot to get my scissors, so just slice open the bag of compost with this nice sharp tool. I use this, I kind of keep it with me whenever I go around my garden. I can use it to chop off some grass, or do a little pruning, or do a little digging. It's just so handy, such a multi-purpose tool. I think every gardener should have this tool. Okay, where were we? So I lost count, guys. So let me do that again. Yes, okay, so I've got 2 parts of peat moss there. I need to stop talking so much in between counts. So there we go. And again, this is not an exact science, you know, just roughly 3 cups, 3 parts, roughly 3 parts of compost. And now, you may be wondering why the bandana. Well, I couldn't find a mask, guys, so I'm improvising. So that's what I'm going to use, because I don't want the perlite dust or the vermiculite dust going in my nose anymore. So you want to make sure it's going downwind. And then the last 2 ingredients. Got a cup here. And then give it a good stir. Putting my bandana back on. And there you have it, guys. Beautiful potting soil, all ready for your spring garden. That's all for this episode, guys. I hope you learned something new, and I would really appreciate it if you would like this video and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, live green and love your greens.